Hi, I'm Nancy Burris, broker associate with Cartwright Realty and soon to be broker owner at Outfront Realty. I'm here today with Leigh Clifton, photographer and owner, Studio 656 West. Leah is my go-to girl when it comes to photography. She is a local freelance independent enterprise in St. Pete, Florida. We are here today in beautiful Gulfport in this gorgeous Pia's restaurant. And we're here to learn a little more about Leah. Leah has an incredibly interesting background that ranges from investigative journalism to politics to photography. So today we're here to learn a little bit more. Leah, how long have you lived here in the Gulfport, St. Pete area?
I moved here in 1999 from the Washington, D.C. area, and I love it here. I wouldn't live nowhere else.
I agree. What do you love most about this community?
I got so involved in the community when I first moved here. I worked for the local paper, The Gabber, for 5 years. I got to meet so many people, and I love the fact that there's so many festivals and there's music every night, and the restaurants are so diverse, the people are so diverse. Mm-hmm. It's a really wonderful town. It's very accepting and very loving, and I think it's fabulous.
I agree. So we talked about your background and how many diverse things you've done in your life, but why photography? How did you get here?
I got here because I was originally a music major in college and I got sick. I got nodules on my vocal cords and I couldn't sing. So I picked up an old camera that an old beau gave me and I started taking photographs, and I realized I could take photographs, which was unusual because I'd never tried it before. I found I really loved it and I got very involved in it and decided to major in it and got a major in photojournalism and communications from the University of Delaware.
And I guess that was probably the moment or experience or emotion that made you feel that this is just something I have to do, is photography.
Yeah, when I started taking photographs, I did a lot of sports. I did a lot of local things for the college because I was a college photo editor. But when I started taking photographs of people, that was my big moment. That was my aha moment.
Do you find yourself looking at the world and wondering how it would look in a photograph?
All the time. I drive down the street and I see people, and I've actually stopped people at a bus stop and asked them, can I take your photograph? Because they just have interesting faces. I've stopped people playing dominoes on a porch street.
That's awesome. Porch Street or porch, we know what you mean. No worries.
No, I just did.
Let's talk. That brings us to, what is your favorite subject to photograph?
My favorite subject are people. I love portraits. I love the nuances of a face that can be 10 different things in 10 minutes. I love to photograph people.
Here's something I often wondered as I tried to take my own photographs and failed so miserably. Is there something that goes through your head or something that you ask yourself or think about just before you click that camera?
Where is the light?
Okay.
Where is the light? That is a mantra I always have in my head. Where is the light? Where is it on the subject? How is it going to affect the photograph? And whether, when you're photographing a person, whether you've got light in their eyes, which shows a depth of the soul. So I'm very conscious of where the light is.
That's awesome. In your opinion, I imagine, well, probably light and many other things, but what sets a fantastic or a good picture apart from the average photo?
A fabulous photograph is one that's going to evoke emotion. If you look at a photograph and it moves you, then I've done my job.
That's fantastic. And what is the most rewarding part of photography for you?
The most rewarding part is when I get emails back or texts back from clients who thank me so much and tell me that they love my work, that I captured exactly what they envisioned. And it's amazing. It's amazing how it makes you feel. It just makes me feel wonderful that I've done my job.
And what can you do for someone like me, a novice photographer, or anyone else out there who might want to take up photography? What could you tell them that they could do, or how do they learn to be better at photography?
I think one of the main things would be, as I said before, look for the light. Mm-hmm. But also watch people's faces. If you like to take portraits of people, watch their faces, because there are a million different nuances to a face, and each click of the shutter can be a different look. It's amazing.
That's interesting. And I know when we were talking, you mentioned that you love to take photos in action. People doing what they regularly do. Children on the beach, couples proposing, whatever it might be, but in action. Tell me a little bit about that.
I do. I'm a photojournalist, so I was trained for newspapers, and I worked for several newspapers. And you're trained to just photograph on the action and present what's in front of you. You don't manufacture it. You don't make the people do things you don't want them to do. I don't do a lot of posing. I prefer to photograph people in their natural environment or in their natural way of moving. And I think that's what makes my photography stand apart a little bit.
You know, it's so interesting. We talked a little bit about your background, not a whole lot, but I know in our conversation that you've photographed some very famous people, some famous musicians, presidents, even Bishop Desmond Tutu,
Yes.
Some really spectacular people. So if you could photograph anyone or anything in the world, what would it be?
I think that I've always had a fascination with Mother Teresa and her face. She has an amazing face. I think the Pope would be really interesting. I think that anything in Rome would be beautiful to photograph.
That's awesome. And, you know, that makes perfect sense because you talk about the portraits are your favorite.
Yeah.
And, you know, at the Pope or Mother Teresa, they say so much just in their eyes and in
Yes.
their face. So
Yes.
that makes perfect
Yes.
sense that would be something that would interest you for sure. And finally, here's I'm very curious that what is something that you know now that you wish you knew 10 years ago?
About photography?
About anything in life, anything that would better your position or anything that you wish, or maybe about photography that you would have known 10 years ago that you know today.
That's a really great question and a really hard question. I think I would like the world to be a better place, which is everyone wants that. I think that I wish I had known maybe how to be more empathic or empathetic to people. I feel that I am, but I think that I can always learn to be more so. And I think, again, that always affects my photography. So I'm really happy where I am right now. I think that I've learned to appreciate people more, and I think that shows in my photography as well.
I agree. Thank you so much, Leah, for allowing us to learn more about you today.
Well, thank you, Nancy.
I will be sure to put your contact information up on the post. So if anyone is interested in Leah's services, please don't hesitate to reach out. I personally adore Leah and know how great she is because she has made me look incredible in some photos that weren't so incredible. So she's done an awesome job with my headshots. We'll show you some samples of her work, and feel free to reach out for her contact information. Thank you so much today.
Thank you so much, Nancy. Bye-bye.
Bye.